All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to watch a really cool movie. It's created by Harvard University, pulling together research from scientists all over the world. They made a computer animation of what is going on in the inside of a cell. I'm going to just talk you through the video. The video itself is only about 3 minutes. It'll take me longer to talk you through it. And then I want you to reflect on what you saw in this video. So I'll read the directions for the assignment. I'm just going to tell you about it. Okay, so when we start the video, you're going to see some cells that are rolling around. Those are white blood cells, and they are traveling through, there's like a tunnel, and they're traveling through one of your blood vessels or a person's blood vessels. And those white blood cells are touching every single cell in the body. But at this time, they're traveling through the blood vessel. And what we're going to see then is a close-up. We're going to look at them up close and see how they touch the cell. So give me just a second, and I'll start the video. And then I'll pause it again. It's got some cool music to go with it too. Get my ugly mug out of the way. Keep going. There we go. Those are the white blood cells rolling around, touching everything. And now we're seeing a close-up of these white blood cells touching. So up at the top is a white blood cell, and you can see these fibers coming down, and then down below is another cell that it's touching. So it's the white blood cell up above, and then it's another cell down below, and they're communicating, but through these fibers, through these touches. So what you're seeing right here is the top of the other cell, and that's its phospholipid bilayer. Remember those balloons with the two strings? That's what this C is. And there's all kinds of things floating on this C, proteins and carbohydrates and all kinds of other things that are floating around. But we're looking at the cell membrane right now. And then we're going to go inside and look at it. We're inside the cell now, and you're going to look up. Give it just a second. The camera will look up. We're looking up at the cell membrane, and you can see things moving around in the cell membrane. And now the camera pans in, and you're looking at the inside of the cell. And these, I'm going to turn the volume down. These things that look like pillars and structures, those are part of what's called the cytoskeleton. They're what hold up the cell so that the cell has a certain amount of shape. And you're seeing those things being put together, and you're seeing them being pulled apart. Here, this is called a microtubule. It's what helps the cell to divide, and it's being built. And here's one being deconstructed or pulled apart. Here's everybody's favorite part. This is a motor protein. And I'm going to pause there for just a second. That's a motor protein. It looks like it's alive, like it's a stick figure or something. It's not at all. It's attracted. It's very difficult to explain, but it's attracted to the microtubule that it's walking on, and it's carrying a huge vesicle on its back, which is the products of whatever that cell just made. So if that cell makes hormones, for example, then it's carrying a bag full of hormones on its back, and it's transferring those hormones across the cell. So let's watch him for a moment more. Everybody loves this part. It's super cool. It's like, no way, that can't really be happening, right? Okay, I'm going to pause it again. This is looking still inside of the cell. Way over here, there's a circle, and that's the nucleus. In front of the circle are called centrioles. You don't need to know them, but they're the things that are growing those microtubules that walking guy was walking on. Off to the right is actually a mitochondria, and we'll see that again in just a moment. There's the nucleus more in focus now. This is the nucleus. And do you see that things are shooting out of the nucleus? Those are messages that are coming out of the nucleus. They're called RNA, mRNA, which stands for messenger RNA. And they're going to be captured by an organelle that's called I'm going to turn this down a little bit more. They're captured by an organelle that's called the ribosome. And the ribosome is going to read these messages and interpret them and build proteins. And remember, proteins are what decide what eye color you have, or what skin color, or how tall you are, or whatever. And so there's the ribosome grabbing it, the ribosome reads it, and then it builds different molecules, different proteins. Here, a molecule is being grabbed and it's being carried to the mitochondria. That big blob is a mitochondria. Here's another ribosome reading the mRNA and building a protein. That protein is then packaged in a vesicle and it's leaving the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Here's the walking guy again carrying the vesicle. And now the vesicle is going to join with what's called the Golgi. The Golgi is this enormous layer of different membranes. And that package that walking guy was carrying, it's going to meld with this. And then it's going to be delivered out of the cell. So watch, it's going up and it's going to be released from the cell. And so whatever was in that package that the walking guy was carrying, it's been released from the cell. Now, if we pause for just a second, we are on the outside of the cell right now. We're sitting on the cell membrane, and still right at the top of us, above us, there's that white blood cell. That white blood cell still wants to know, how are things going? It's checking to see if the cell that we've been inside, if it's healthy. And so now the cell that we've been inside, it's going to tell the white blood cell, hey, we're healthy. They're going to do like a little high five with these proteins that are going to stand up. So it's just going to tell the white blood cell, hey, we're healthy and you can go somewhere else. So watch for the high five. Give it just a second. Okay, they're high-fiving, they're communicating, we're healthy, and now we pan out and we can see the white blood cell, and it's moving on to another cell to see if it's healthy. White blood cells have the ability to change shape so that they can squeeze. That's a real photo. They can squeeze in between cells while they're trying to find if cells are healthy or not and if they need them. Remember, white blood cells attack foreign invaders, and so they're just checking for that. Okay, everybody, that's it. Now I want you to do your reflection.